I saw one of the lamentation variations, and I thought it was is that they're not really even imitations of Martha Graham. They take the Graham technique and the principles of how she constructed things and go in a whole different direction.
Yeah. Well, we specifically tell the artists that we commission the lamentation variations from that we don't want them to imitate Martha. We give them a film of her dancing her iconic solo lamentation, and we ask them to give us their reaction, their personal reaction as artists. So we don't want them to use the Graham technique particularly. They should use their own voice. And we have 8 now. The one we're premiering this season is by Doug Verone. It's for 4 of our men, and it's absolutely beautiful.
The way he uses the space and the bench. I don't want to give it away, but you have to come see this. But just the way he uses the dancers and the cloth itself.
Yeah, and it will be, whenever we perform the lamentation variations, we perform 3 as a group. And this year we're opening with one by Bulawayon Pagarlava, the fabulous Taiwanese choreographer that we premiered in '09. The second one will be by Yvonne Rainer, the wonderful queen of postmodernism, which we premiered last year. And we'll finish with Doug's. Each one is 5 or 6 minutes long.
They all fit in so well. Now, you're doing a special errand, aren't you?
Yes. When Luca Vigetti offered his new work to us, and I said, of course, we'd love it. We also talked about whether this would be an opportunity, the fact that our sets and costumes were damaged, to feature the Graham choreography in a fresh way, unadorned, without the classic sets and costumes, just to allow the audiences to appreciate it with a new look and understand the essences of the choreography itself in its purest state. So Luca, assisted by Miki Arahara, one of our principal dancers, has taken Errand into the Maze and created a new arrangement without the classic sets and costumes, which I think audiences will be sort of amazed at the power that comes through, even without all of the original world that Martha created for that choreography.
How you coach the dancers, I mean, it's clear that you are a Graham dancer. It's in your body. And even when you were watching them, you could see there was the power of this work still is in your body.
I think for me, I've danced most of these ballets, and the music is just part of my system. I feel cues that are programmed in somehow that are not going through intellectually. So there's that relationship to the work. But I also, as I watch the dancers, try to live the story through their actions and understand if it will be clear to the audience, if it will be if it's most powerfully delivered for the audience. And it's the nuance that we were talking about earlier. That's the way you sort of discover when the communication disappears for some reason and then comes back. Well, let's look at that place where we felt the connection break and figure out, does the head need to turn first? Is the focus wrong? Are you not playing as if this was the first time this ever happened? That's a correction that we often get. So, again, at this point in our process, right before we get it back on stage, I feel to direct that I really have to get inside of it and make sure that it's making all those connections.
Very intellectualized.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't so much about, I know it's the point where it is about nuance, about something out there that have the steps, but it's also, you gave each one, they were all artists, and you gave them the room to discover. And no, that's fine. It's very clear. It's very clear that you gave them the room to discover and to find what these characters were for them also, because that's what's going to give it expression.
Absolutely. And they have to own their own performance. That's what Martha gave me, probably the greatest gift she gave me. was teaching me to take power over my own performance. Don't try and imitate what somebody else did. You know, I did many of her roles, and it wouldn't have crossed her mind that I would want to imitate what she did. She understood that the unique power of each artist is unique, and that you have to personally justify each movement and own it to make it fully powerful.